Hello leaders, you're listening to In Between, a higher self-leadership podcast. I'm Valarie Sanjeevi, a business coach and leadership mentor. In my podcast, I wish to share my awareness on higher self-leadership and how we can integrate it in our leadership practice every day and see results. Higher self-leadership is in the awareness. Today I want to speak about a subject that is dear to my heart because it was a tough one for me during my life, and I think now I'm ready to speak about it because I found that it's a topic with different layers and I want to share all of them and to see how it can affect our leadership position and how we can master this theme in order to make it an ally and not an enemy. And this subject is about perfection. I think it's something we all faced once in our life, to find the perfect job, the perfect team, the perfect client, the perfect brand, the perfect offer, and even in our personal life, the perfect house, the perfect car, the perfect partner. Perfection is something which seems to be in our mind, whether we want it or not. And to be honest, I was one of those people who, not necessarily consciously, but was looking for perfection. One of the reasons for that, it was that's the way I was brought up. I don't think it was the only reason. I think it's as well a collective way of thinking to target perfection. The first layer I want to share around perfection is that perfection can be very, perfection can be very limiting, in fact. And why do I say that? The main reason is if we want to be perfect on a subject, it can be only a few subjects. We can't be perfect on everything in our life. We can't be perfect in everything that we are doing in our job, in our vision, in our leadership. We can't be perfect in everything we are doing in our personal life. That's why I say it's limiting, because it means that we have to choose where I want to be perfect. Like, for example, I can cook the perfect meal, but then can I have the same day a perfect party, and on top of that a perfect day out with my children? And on top of that, can I have the best preparation for the meeting I have tomorrow with my team? So that's why I say it's limiting. If you want to be perfect, you have to choose one topic that you can dive in, because perfection requires to be looking at all the angles, all the perspective, and to dive even more all the time to make it perfect. And what I mean, it takes time. So that's why we can't do it on everything. So that's the first layer I got from perfection. It's like perfection is limiting. If I want to be perfect, as it takes time, I will have to choose which subject I want to be perfect on. Then there was a second layer that came out, which was that perfection actually is lack. And why do I say that? We fear that we are not being enough, that we haven't done enough. We fear that there is something missing in what we are doing. So we are basically in the scarcity mindset. So we are seeking for someone else's validation, actually. So it means that we are lacking that validation. And perfection as well, it's a moving target. It means that it's something that we are trying to reach, which is basically almost impossible. So that's why I was saying that the second layer around perfection is like it's connected to lack. And then, not so long ago, I came up with the third layer, which is the one I prefer. It's like actually all is perfect in the world, as long as you can see why it is perfect. So I'm going to say that one more time. All is already perfect in the world, as long as I can see why this is perfect. Usually, we see that in hindsight, meaning that something happened and then you have to quit, or you are fired, or something happened, the team is not the one who is mastering the skills, And then you have to let go of this person, or you yourself, you quit or leave your job. And then a few years or even a few months from there, you said, it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. That's what we say. But we say that afterwards. We don't see that this way at the moment that we are facing it. And that's why I said everything is already perfection as long as we can see it that way. It means that whatever we are facing is perfect for what we need at that moment. It's perfect for us to understand something, to be aware of something, to be transformed by that thing that is happening, and to embody that. And if we do that, then we can collapse time. So if I see that everything that the world is showing up to me is already perfect because it's going to help me to transform myself, to embody more a skill or a strength or something, then I can see that this is a perfect experience for me to understand and to move on. So for me, perfection is really part of the journey for mastery. So now if we link perfection with leadership, and if I say that everything is perfect already, and it's only for me to see where I need to strengthen myself. Let's say that something is happening in my leadership role, within my vision or with my team or whatever, and there is a problem which is rising, and then you say, okay, this is the perfect problem for me to understand something, to embody something, to get transformed. So what is it? And if I can take out the wisdom out of it, then I will become stronger out of this experience. Another way to link leadership and perfection is to understand that every situation, because as leaders we are facing so many situations during a day. So all the situations that are brought to me sometimes at the same time, sometimes we are going through a day and you say, why all of the problems are coming at the same time? Everything was fine yesterday and today nothing is working. All at the same time. And for me, the way I see that, okay, if this is perfect, it means that I'm being trained on how to hold the diversity of subject. So I'm getting better at that. Again, another way to link perfection to leadership. As leaders, we are as well humans. And sometimes we have emotions, like everybody else. So when the emotion is coming out, and I don't deny this emotion, I don't put it away saying that, okay, I have to deal with my emotion, which is true, of course. But how do I deal with my emotion? Is it to put it away and say, okay, I'm going to have control over the emotion, or just numbing myself? This could be hard in the long run. So for me, if I see this situation where this emotion is coming out as perfect, then I can understand even faster what this emotion is telling me, where do I get triggered, how can I transform that, and how can I embody and be moving again. Another way that you can look at perfection in leadership is how can I hold one thing going fine at the same time being triggered by something with a client or with a team member or with an offer or a brand that doesn't go well or a sale that didn't go well or anything. And at the same time, you have this good news. So what is the situation here that I am shown? And if I say, okay, I can see the perfection of those two topics, the good one and the bad one, quote unquote, if I can see the perfection of that, it allows me to hold duality. So this situation of two opposite things coming at the same time is the perfect way for me to see, am I able to hold duality? If not, okay, that's good. What can I do to hold more duality? So I get transformed by all those things. And because I'm looking at the world that way, everything that is happening is perfect for me, for what I need in order to get transformed. This is how we master the leadership way, the leadership role. That's how miracles happen, actually. And I want to add another layer, probably the final one for today, around perfection. if we see that everything is perfect already in the world, and on top of that, I am as well perfect, because I am part of this world, and this world is perfect, so I am as well perfect, then I add this additional layer that there is nothing wrong with me. Everything is perfect, but what do I want to master? What do I want to transform? What do I want to understand? What do I want to embody? And that's how we leave the victim consciousness and we are moving to the game consciousness by recognizing that everything is perfect and there is nothing wrong with me, but it doesn't mean I want to stay in the state I am in right now, emotionally, or any skills or any situation that I'm facing right now in my leadership role. Doesn't mean I want to stay in that. It just means that it's showing me with the perfect situation how to grow from it. So the way the universe is done with this perfection, actually, is to always bring to the table, to our life, the situation that is going to make us grow, to transform us, and to make us an even better leader. So if I can understand that the mind wanted to control perfection is going to limit us, is going to create lack, that's the mind taking control. This is the mind interfering on what perfect is. This is the mind definition, which can be our own way to see it, or it can be a collective way of seeing that. But if you can see that with the awareness that everything is already perfect, and any situation are just here to show you where you are and how you grow from it, then it's a complete different story, a complete different life. And of course, this conversation is not for everybody. And that's why I linked perfection with leadership. Because I really feel that if us leaders, we can see the world with this perspective, we can change it even faster. So everybody would benefit from that. The vision, the team, the clients, the world, actually. So I'm going to let you contemplate on that, and maybe this week or tomorrow or the next month, just try to see when there is a situation that goes not the way that you want it to go, or a situation that we would call bad, again, quote unquote. Let's see if you can come back to your sense and say, okay, if this is a perfect situation for me to grow from that, what does it tell me? Again, because the world is perfect and everything is there to show us with the perfect timing and the perfect situation what we need to understand and to grow from. Let's contemplate and let's change our mindset around perfection. Thank you for listening. Leadership in Action. See you soon in the next episode.